An urgent call to exercise wisdom and restraint. In such a time as this, we need to take heed to those in authorities. They are just doing their part for the protection and safety of all the people. The temporary suspension of our church activities is not a persecution from our government authority. It's a move to contain the spread of the highly contagious virus. Do not use Hebrew 10:25 as your excuse not to respect and obey the law. Romans chapter 13 verses 1-2. Guard and protect what has been entrusted to your care. If you love your church and your family, please consider this report seriously. An Arkansas pastor who was recently struck with the deadly coronavirus along with his wife and more than 30 others connected to his church are now warning others not to underestimate how dangerous the virus is and treat it with wisdom and restraint. Pastor Mark Polinsky and his wife Dina of Greer's Ferry First Assembly of God in Cleburne County, Arkansas. Pastor Polinsky warned that the virus is highly contagious and his wife got so sick she had to be hospitalized along with several other members of their church. I need to let you know that we did not travel out of the state of Arkansas. This virus is highly contagious and it is no respecter of persons. Donald Shipp, a deacon of the church, told the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette on Monday that at least 34 people connected with the church have tested positive for the virus and several others are still awaiting results. All of them attended a children's event held at the church from March 5 to 8, 2020. Of those who tested positive for the virus, 31 are on staff at the church or are members, Shipp said. The others are 2 evangelists who led the children's event and a child who was visiting. Would you like this to happen to your church? If you insist to ignore this because you have a different view of what you believe, well, that is your choice. Anyway, all of us are accountable for the consequences brought about by our decision. The call to exercise wisdom and restraint is imperative to all of us while we are under this pandemic. Proverbs chapter 9 verse 10 ESV says, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is insight." The start of wisdom according to this verse is the fear of the Lord. It means if we have this, we will not be afraid to do what is right, just and fair. Proverbs chapter 1 verses 2-3. The knowledge of the Holy One is insight. That is why the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. If you know God, then you will have understanding or insight of what it means to be wise. We need to desire to know in order to be edified, and this is prudence. Seek understanding as a means of well-doing for the safety of those around us for God's sake. Do we have a vision of what God is seeking to make of us as individuals and of us as a congregation? Unless we do, we could face some serious problems. In fact, God says it could mean death. Proverbs chapter 29 verse 18 says, "Where there is no vision, the people perish, but he that keeps the law, happy is he." A vision is a word from God for a purpose, time, place, event, or people. Your mind conceived the truth of the words being spoken with regards to the welfare of God's people and his work. If you do not know what the church should do in such a time as this, you will lead to a church perishing. The word perish means death. It can mean death in the sense of uselessness. A church can be dead to the real goals and purposes which God has determined for it. We will be destroyed for lack of knowledge, as stated in Hosea chapter 4 verse 6. The thing that creates this peril is for the people to be without a vision. As the spread of the coronavirus increases, it's vital that every church leader understands the practical action they must take to look after themselves and help us protect those most at risk. Hence, we must exercise wisdom and restraint. God bless us all. #BSCCGIBISOSCARFSTALUCIA